Hi, welcome to Granny Pants Channel. I'm Kathy, aka Granny Pants, and I'm fresh out of total shoulder replacement surgery. Yeah, straight out of total shoulder replacement surgery. I thought I would do this live because I can't really use my arm much for a mouse, and I thought, well, I'll do a live and I won't hardly have to touch my mouse. Don't touch my mouse. Anyway, so here's the scar, or here's the incision. There is the bruising because he said, well, we knew you knew your long bicep tendon was torn. But then we had to do a little work on the bicep while I was in there. I'm like, okay, and are you familiar with the term gravity? I'm like, unfortunately, yeah. And so that is blood pooling from the bicep repair thing. Anyway, so the bicep repair kind of puts my recovery schedule off just a little bit because it takes longer for that to heal. But I had a regular anatomical shoulder replacement, and ow, that is where they didn't have to do any fancy reverse things. They just replaced the ball and socket. And I have looked at every shoulder replacement video on YouTube, and they all show that the glenoid, the socket part, is put in with cement and screws. Well, I got a little picture of my thing. He just put cement in mine. He didn't put cement and screws. I'll ask him when I see him next month, because my next scheduled appointment is next month at the 6-week mark. And he does not want me to have any kind of PT, OT, PT, none of it, till he sees me again. So I'm using my good arm here. I'm allowed to go up and down with my elbow, pump my fist like that to try to keep the fluid going. And he wants me to try to raise now this is my good arm. He wants me to try to raise my arm up, but not any higher than my shoulder. Well, I tried that at his office yesterday or Friday, and it was like maybe 5%. Not there yet, but like I said, the bicep will be the slowing down of things. So, what was my experience? I can roll my shoulder, push it front and back, and it is smooth as silk in there. My shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. And I mean, I've been keeping ice on it, so I'm taking this break to talk to y'all. I would like to thank Marilyn for the card she sent me, and so thank you, Marilyn. The there's some things that I thought I might suggest for you if you're a person of my age. I'm 67, and I am not a small girl. So, I would highly recommend a couple of things. Definitely rent a lift chair. Definitely rent a lift chair. A lot of y'all know both of my shoulders are bad. Now he's giving me a shot in my good arm to make it to where I can use it good while I recover from this arm. But when this arm has healed, we're going straight into this arm. But I don't think he's going to have to do quite what he did over there. over here, he'll probably just have to put 3 holes in, clean some arthritis out, and hopefully that'd be all we need to do over there. But there's torn tendons over here too, so just clean up the fray, clean out the clean out the arthritis and stuff. But I've got my report here, and I can't really read all the words, but I mean to you, that's my surgical report that I got. And it just says what he did. Except for, oh, it does say I was intubated. So I had to be intubated for my anesthesia. So from the time I came home till, well, it depends now, later on in the day, my voice is all squeaky-fied. And I'm still coughing from the intubation. But, yeah, no. That's kind of what happens. So I wanted to suggest a few things if you're considering having a total shoulder replacement. And that is, definitely get a lift chair. You'll be glad you did. I'm not supposed to push up off of furniture. I'm not supposed to push up out of a chair with either arm. And my shoulders are both being bad. I mean, what I mean to say is my core is so soft and out of shape that most normal people with a generally intact core could get up out of a chair without that. But if you're in a recliner that doesn't lock in an upright position, it always keeps you about like 45 degrees or whatever, there's no way to come down out of that and lift unless you've got a good solid core. So when they're doing the pre-surgical PT for you, ask them to include core strengthening. You're going to need it. Some other things are like going around and put a cap full of Miralax in your Gatorade fruit punch, like I did. You're really going to need that. What other suggestions can I make? Ice. Ice is the best friend you are going to have right now, even still, for me. Every hour, on the hour. And he said 20 minutes on, take it off. But, I mean, I basically kept ice on my arm continuously for the first 3 days. I mean, I had a nerve block for the first 32 hours it lasted. But I couldn't feel a thing. But always put something between you and the ice. And so I've been doing that. And boy, what a relief. I mean, as soon as that ice hits your shoulder, you're like, man, that feels good. And it does. He had put me on tramadol, I think 50 milligrams, to take once every 4 hours after surgery, and he gave me 30 pills. He says, don't wait until the 4th hour. Take it on the 3rd hour, so it kicks in before the last one wears off. And I did exactly what he told me to do. And man, I was so high. I was so high. I was like seeing things run across the floor. And I'm like, Patty come over to visit to help me with my ice in the middle of the night. And I'm like, wow, did you see that? And she's like, what? I'm like, you didn't just see something run across the floor? She says, girl, you so high. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, fine. And then I was hearing noises and all kinds of stuff. But I've had an interesting period in recovery. I got that C-Spring MK3 for my CPAP tank So it refills it and I don't have to. And that's a blessing. Now, my helpers that come and help me had put it on top of my CPAP and that tank MK2 or MK3 on top of the Austin's kennel, and I had like a cardboard thing that come off the back of my recliner up there on Austin's kennel, and so where they put the gallon water tank, it was kind of sitting like that because the top of Austin's kennel is a little concave anyway because it's just plastic. So you put weight on it and it goes down a little bit. So now my CPAP tank is sitting like that. Well, I didn't know. All of this was behind me. You know, it was all behind me. I can't see a thing. So the other day, I think it was Thursday, it was Wednesday, this past Wednesday. And so I'm getting my CPAP on, or I'm waking up, and I'm telling Austin good morning and petting him, and then he goes and lays back in his kennel, and you know how dogs turn around before they actually lay down? They just do a circle or two and get settled and lay down. Well, he did that in his kennel, and he bumped the kennel wall. And when he bumped the kennel wall, that 1 gallon water MC Spring MK3 tank turned over. I don't have no help there. I'm in a sling. I'm high as a kite. And then I hear dee-doo, dee-doo, dee-doo. I mean, what in the hell is that? And then I hear the waterfall. And I've got like a Sherpa little bed inside the kennel for Austin. And then I hear water like puddling up and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. So it like takes forever to get out of the lift chair. So I'm like working on it. I'm coming, Austin. Well, the water spilled all over the top of the kennel, came down through the holes of the handle of the kennel, and gave Austin the shower of his life. He is ran out the thing, ran out the kennel, and he's just looking at me. I'm like, oh my God, the tank's, like this. It hadn't turned all the way flat. It got caught on the wall. So, the wall caught it from tipping all the way over. But man, so it was like I had, water damage on aisle 5. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? What am I supposed to do? I'm like, so, those waterproof pads you put in your bed so if you have an accident, nothing goes through, whatever. Well, I have one of those in front of Austin's kennel. So he comes out of the kennel and lays on that too. But I'm like, okay. So my arm is up here. Let me finally get this here situated. So my arm is like this, my bad arm, sling. And so I lean over and I pull that Sherpa bed, which is full to the top of water. So yes, they are waterproof. I can vouch for that. Okay, so I'm pulling pull the bed out on top of that waterproof pad that I've got in front. You see him sneaking around the corner here. Wait a minute. Austin. Whoop-whoosh. What you doing to me? Come say hi. I'm talking about you. You say yeah. It was funny. It was like if I could have made a video of that, I would have, because that's like Calamity Jane situation. But hey, then I got my Swiffer mop. Didn't have a paper on it or nothing. But I got 2 big towels out of my bathroom. Not trust me. In a sling, high as a kite. I'm like, 8 o'clock in the morning. This happened. And so I get my Swiffer mop and I get 2 towels out of the bathroom that are hanging on the rod. So I pull one down and I kind of put it on my other recliner and try to fold it. And then I laid it in his kennel. And then I got my Swiffer mop handle thing. No paper on it. Or nothing like that. Just the mop head. And pushed it with my good arm back and forth in the kennel. Well, I couldn't pick up. Well, I righted. What I mean, I righted. I turned that tank up so it would be standing up. But see, I can't lift it up. That's the problem. I can't lift that up. I can't lift my CPAP machine up. My biggest concern was the water getting into all the wiring on the floor beside it, because there's the wiring for my chargers, my lamps, my what the hell's in there? Anyway, I've got a charger, a multi socket thing that's got like 4 USB ports in it. So I had USB ports. I was worried about the water getting into all that wiring and extension cords and stuff like that I had going on. And but it didn't. Thank God. The Lord was with me, as always. And so that was about the only calamity thing that's happened since then, since surgery. So I called the company that I have the caregivers with, and I asked them, is there any way one of them can come like early, and they can leave early or whatever, because I just had an accident here and with water, and I am, Sure, well, I'll try to get in touch with them, and if they can't come, I'll get ready and I'll come on over. Girl, nobody showed up here till 12:30, and she never responded back when I'm going, update. I sent her a text going, update. Nothing. She didn't respond. Her name's Nikki, by the way, and I'm calling her out. So anyhow, she said she was called into a meeting. Well, why tell me you're going to come on over if you're going to be called into a meeting? Just saying, But anyway, recovery has been, good. Rest, ice, walk to prevent blood clots, and repeat. First shower I took was Thursday night. I've been washing up at the sink every other time, but the first full shower I did on my own was Thursday night. And man, that felt so good. It took a long time to do it. But the grab bar that I have in my bathroom is right at the level where my sling would be. So my arm rested on that just fine. So I got it all done. And it felt so good. So if you're thinking about total shoulder replacement, he was right in saying that this surgery is not that other surgery, because this is a whole big different thing. And everybody I'm looking at on YouTube is going, oh, I'm 3 days post-op. I feel great. Da, 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 da. You're a liar. You a big, fat liar. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people are different, but I'm like, OMG. I see people with their slings on. I don't see nobody. Wait a minute. I don't see nobody with that. I see 0 people with that. So, anyway, I'm okay. I'm doing good. I've got great helpers here. And Patty has been coming over at night about 8:30 and 9 and staying with me till about midnight or 11:30. And helping me change ice and anything I need, and that's been so good. And we laughing and watching TV and stuff. So it's good. It's He told me how bad it was. He told me this was a no joke thing. Well, believe them when they tell you that. And usually a lot of people after the 2-week checkup part, the doctor will say, okay, time to go to PT, start that passive exercise. He said, no. Check back with me in a month. So I guess my experience is different in that he wants me to do no PT. None. So it must have been, a different thing than what other people experience. But man, I was ready to go let people move my arm for me, and I'd do anything he says he's going to do. But, it's like he says I could do. Wait a minute, I'm going to see if I can walk my arm out. That's as far as I can go. Make that maybe 3%. Anyway, that's my update. Thought I'd tell you about it. I had to do it early in the morning while I was feeling okay. And I wanted to make sure that all of you guys knew about my experience. And you know me, I have to throw in a funny story. So the water tank with the dog and the dog getting a shower and all that, that was fun. It's funny now. It wasn't funny when it happened, but if there had to be a funny something that happened, that was it during the whole time. And the point that I was so high, I was seeing things run across the carpet. Did you see that? Did you see that? Patty's like, girl, you so high. Woo. Oh yeah, I was high, but now I'm only on 2 leave, like every 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours, and that works just fine, along with the ice. Trust the ice. Ice is your friend, and as soon as it hits your arm, you'll be going, why didn't I do that before? Because it is so good. So for the ones that wasn't here, or the ones that came in late, or the one, thumbs up for dang, I'm making a video right after surgery. And, at least sharing with other people, because I've looked at every total shoulder replacement video on YouTube, and none of them are telling you what I'm telling you. So there's that. So maybe somebody can find something in my video that's more real than what they're being told on the other videos. But this is some serious stuff. And like I said, I have a regular anatomical with no screws in the glenoid. I just have cement. And I guess he figured the cement is sufficient to hold me. I trust him, whatever he wants to do. Because who knows, I won't even maybe be here the 10 years or that this is going to last me. Maybe I don't know. But he did what he did, and I trust what he did, and everything's going to be all right, y'all. Everything's going to be all right. And like I said, I'm going to do what he tells me to do. I suggest you do that. But I think the two main takeaways from all of this is that if you're soft in the middle, like me, I don't care if you're great big in the middle or a little soft in the middle, or you just don't use your core very much. When they start ordering that pre-surgical PT, ask him to add core strengthening, because you're going to need it. Because you're not going to be allowed to push off the chairs and this and that. But I got 2 bad shoulders. That's why he said that, I guess. But still, make sure they add core strengthening into your pre-surgical PT. And even if it's just a little bit, it's more than you got going on right now. So my thanks to Dr. Stephen Eddy at Fort Wayne Orthopedic and all of his surgical staff and his nursing staff in the office. They've all been very kind, and my anesthesiologist, Laura Coates, superior as ever. So they knocked me out before they even started rolling me down the hall out of the pre-surgical room. She goes, you ready? I said, yeah, let's roll. Let's get this thing done. And the next thing I know, I'm like, ow. And I didn't wake up. And they had already dressed me. Now, how the hell that happened? I don't know. They had already dressed me. Patty was sitting there with me. And Eric drove me home. And that was a nice thing for him to do. And so the other takeaway is get the core training and get a lift chair. Rent a lift chair. My lift chair was $215 for a month. And then it's $50 pickup, $50 delivery. And I had only planned, I bought it for a month. Eric is going to help me and pay for the second month. But it looks like if I'm not going to be doing PT and I'm not supposed to be lifting, I still got to come up with another $230 for the third month. So Lord will make it happen if it's meant to happen. But get a lift chair. And if you can't afford the multiple months, especially that first month from surgery, I am here to tell you you're going to need a lift chair if you live alone, like me. I live alone. So, ain't nobody help get me out of a chair. I do have a grab bar by my toilet, which is on the good side of me right now. And, a $38 bidet. Here's what I got. That's what I got. It's a left-handed bidet. If you're having shoulder on your right-hand side, they have a right-hand sided one. And the connectors, the connectors for the toilet screws are like, that go on top of the toilet seat, they hold better. Because I don't know, I'm just saying, if it's just a big girl problem or whatever, you go and then the toilet seat wants to slide and slide. Well, the connectors for this toilet seat thing is it don't slide, it don't move, it don't go nowhere. You are locked in because the way you screw it in, I don't know, you can screw it in up or down, or you can screw it in side by side, or you can screw it in at a diagonal. You pick the angle to make it work for your toilet seat or toilet. And mine's locked in. But this was $38 on Amazon. And it has a front and back nozzle. So it gets front parts and it gets back parts. And if you put the thing in switch in the middle, it'll get both parts at one time. And I have to tell you, after being on the painkillers, you will be glad you have a bidet. That's all I got to say about that, because that's just the way it is. I could be more detailed, but I'll leave that part out. But I love you all, and if you found any value in this, or comic relief, or reality check, or whatever, give us a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, okay. If you don't, that's okay too, because you will never see an ad on my channel. And if you saw an ad before my thing, YouTube put it there, not me. My channel is not going to be monetized ever. I've got, more than 1,000, I don't know, 1,290 something now subscribers, and I'm not going to monetize, because if you want to, if you want me to, if you want to give me something, give me something. But ain't no reason in YouTube sticking their nose in it and getting some of it, right? And who wants to see an ad about something? I hate YouTube ads, but you'll never see one on my channel. I promise you that. And that's one benefit of my channel over everybody else's, is I keep it real. Sometimes I'm funny. I talk politics, which, you know, sometimes people get pissed at, but oh well, it affects my life. Take away my insurance, that affects my life. Take away food stamps from hungry people, that affects my world. So, you know. But anyway, love you all. And if you can, drop me a line in the community section and just say hey or whatever, and I'll hey you back. And again, total shoulder replacement, anatomical replacement. The shoulder right here, smooth as silk from the get. From the get. As soon as I could feel it, you know, I wasn't supposed to move it, but I did. And I'm like, oh man, that's so smooth. If you had any idea how much pain I had every time my arm moved, you would have a high appreciation for what I'm telling you. There was no position, no angle, nowhere I could move my arm in any position. Reach up, pull up, nothing. That it didn't grind. Grind, and catch on those tendons and catch on those tendons like a rubber band. Boing, 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 boing. It was horrible. But now all my tendons are repaired. He did say the 50% that's left of each tendon looks strong, so that's good. So anyhow, thanks a lot. I'm gonna go and think about me. Pray for me. I'll send me a message. I had to do this early in the morning, y'all, so I could get it done because the end part of my day doesn't even look this good. So I wanted to catch it while I look a little good. Anyway, so love you all. Thanks for your concern and your little emails and notes. And once again, I want to thank Marilyn for the nice card she sent me. And love you all. Take care.